Drop. Love you too. Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. Let's get jiggy with it. My name is Bob. I'm an addict. One thing, I want to thank you for the opportunity to come up here and share my experience, strength, and hope. That reading, that triangle of self-obsession, they talked about starts at a young age. And I was reading something that talks about even going far back is maybe a child sitting in a high chair and somebody's walks away from the child and he's stuck in that high chair, nobody around, no food, and that's where the resentment, anger, and fear comes in, left here all alone, and that's as far back as that started, you know what I mean? And it made sense to me because carrying that throughout my life, I really didn't care about anything but me getting high, and it's unfortunate what happens around here. Give me that water, please. It's unfortunate what happens around here, but thank God for Narcotics Anonymous because it changed my life immensely. You know what I mean? And I love the theme for this too. Grow up or die, because that's what happens. I never wanted to grow up. I just carried all that nonsense with me. They say you quit growing when you start getting high. I started getting high at 11. I come to Narcotics Anonymous when I was 38. So I come into Narcotics Anonymous with the mentality of an 11-year-old. Didn't know how to live with or without drugs, Worked, still didn't know how to pay bills, write a check, have an account because they closed, bank accounts that I did the empty envelope, you know what I mean, withdraw and all that. But moving forward, where addiction took me is my first family, me and my wife split up with two girls and said I'll never see them again, never see my daughters again, and moved on to the girl I cheated on her with, and we ended up breaking up, and she moved to California, got clean, and I moved to Florida. Well, she come back, and I hooked up with her. She was dragging me to meetings, and I just wasn't ready, So I was shooting dope and cleaning the syringes. I was squirting bleach and blood all over the carpet, and I had my 2-year-old son and my 3-year-old daughter crawling in that mess, and thinking this is a way of life, you know what I mean? I'm going to get high till I die, and this is it, and then my kids have red hands and red knees from crawling in that mess. The bleach we were cleaning the syringes in was pink. That's how much blood was in it. So it was nothing getting clean. And blowing powder on the floor, they're crawling and all that. No food in the house. I had empty boxes of cereal on the refrigerator in case somebody would come in that looked like it was food in the house. Just total embarrassment, you know what I mean? And something happened, man. I woke up, and kid come to the house. We were supposed to go to Florida. I think he had like an ounce of coke. He had a bunch of stamp bags. And he said, we're going, let's go. And I had actually just got out of rehab. And I said, no. I said, but I'll take a couple of them bags, you know what I mean? In case I get sick, I'll throw them under the carpet. And it ended up, they went to Florida, and the one kid ended up getting a murder charge. I'm glad I didn't go because I don't know what happened. But it ended up, I ended up doing them bags. And when I come out, my wife was gone, and with the kids, my little 2-year-old son and my 3-year-old daughter. She said, I can't come back, and I finally got my son, and I still didn't know how to live, and when I did go to rehab, actually detox, I went to detox. I didn't even go to rehab. I detoxed for a couple of days, and I didn't want to get high, you know what I mean? But when I got out, I did. And that's how powerful this disease is, you know what I mean? As much as I didn't want to, I did anyway. And giving up my whole life, giving up everything, Everything I put in that cooker, man, I lost over and over again. You know what I mean? Property, cars, motorcycles, everything, family, and just, you know the deal. But then coming to Narcotics Anonymous, man, the hope shot was when I finally surrendered and came. I was court ordered. I didn't hear nothing here. But when I was finally ready, Sammy Riston, Sammy R., God rest his soul, was my first sponsor. And he drugged me around to all these meetings, man. And people welcomed me with open arms, showed me unconditional love that I was like, man, they don't know me. Well, some of them had shunned me. I said, oh, they must know me from the streets, you know. And that wasn't the case, man, because that's what we're taught here, you know, forgiveness, acceptance, and the spiritual principles, you know, just like the triangle of self-obsession, the resentment, change that with acceptance, the anger, change that with love. I think he touched on it before, and the fear with faith. And I started having faith in this process here, man, and my life started getting better. That little dim light started to grow a little bit here. My spirit started coming alive. You know, start being the father I was intended to be, the husband I was intended to be, and the son that God intended me to be, you know, and life started getting better. And it's just unfortunate after so much time, I was like, I think I talked about the 30-day wonder the other day and in the Just for Today rating, but got complacent, quit going to meetings. My sponsor says, where the hell are you at? I ain't seen you in no meetings, you know, and everything just bottlenecked. Like all my wreckage of the past, I didn't know what to do with it. At like a young age, I was molested. My mother stabbed my father at a young age. When I got older, I sold drugs for my father. You know, all the things that just bottlenecked, seeing my aunt get smashed off inside of a convertible, thrown out a moving car, and I was a little kid, you know what I mean? And all this stuff just bottlenecked, and I didn't know what to do with it. And thank God for my sponsor, and that's why it's so important to have somebody that's experienced around here, because you're taking somebody's life in your hands. It's no joke. And he said to me, he said, Bob, just don't take nothing and go to a meeting. It's a second step working in your life. He says, your refrigerator quits working, you unplug it, you drain all the water out of it. He says, after you drain all the water out of it, you plug it back in, it starts working again, right? I says, yeah. He said, well, if you got to cry, cry, you know, because that's what I was doing, crying to him on the phone. And don't take nothing, go to a meeting, you know. And that meant something to me. I'm being restored to sanity, you know, touching on that second step. Because all this was alien to me, you know what I mean? It was like dropping a kid off on the moon. I didn't know where the hell I was. I didn't know a damn thing about Narcotics Anonymous. I didn't know what yins were doing here. Seen some people smiling, you know what I mean? Seen some action going on. Well, you can find some dirt here, you know what I mean? We got a room full of reptiles. What do you expect? You know what I mean? Actually, he asked me if we can help stick around after the meeting and sweep up some of the scales. I think he said. But no, on the real side, I mean, this is no joke here, man. And then working this program and getting into the step work, and you see people die around here. Thanks, Jay. And it's like, man, I can't believe that guy died with 6 years clean. And Sammy told me, get a suit, you'll need it. You know what I mean? And after being around here a while, you do nowadays. I just walk into funerals just in my work clothes or whatever. After work, I just pay my respects, go and say a prayer. You know what I mean? But Sammy taught me a lot. You know, unfortunately, he died. He had both his legs amputated, and he ended up dying with complications of diabetes, and he was taking pain meds. But his wife died a couple months before he did from lupus, and I think he also died of a broken heart, for real. That was my man there, man. I would not be here if it wasn't for him. I know that. And getting into that was crucial, losing a sponsor like that, losing somebody to help me so much. He changed my whole life, man. You know what I mean? He changed my wife, my kid's life. Everybody just changed for the better so much I could never pay him back. And I still carry that with me today, what I've learned from him, and try to, you know, trickle that down to the guys that I know or I meet. And then I got another sponsor. He ended up passing, but he passed of old age. And then I just had a sponsor pass a couple months back, and he was sponsored by Sammy Risson too, and Al Lawrence, God rest his soul. But I learned so much from that man also. I seen that man die so gracefully, if you can even imagine that. It just blew my mind, you know. And here's the thing, I got some health issues. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I just got a pump put in my stomach and in the back. I got a transmitter and different things. But then a couple of years back, I had quadruple bypass, sawed my chest open, had 4 valves rebuilt, and now I'm waiting for a kidney transplant, you know. And I got all my ducks in line with my wife to keep my family secure if something happens to me. I never ever would think in a million years that I would grow up to be doing something like this, to be worrying about my kids and my grandkids, and even my kids that my first wife said I'd never see. They're in the will too, and they talk to me today, you know. And it's so unfortunate that people like my sponsor Al, his sponsor died. He had 29 years clean. He was coming up on 30 years, and he had lung problems, and he passed. And I knew JoJo for years. I knew him out there even, and he was the first one to welcome me to Narcotics Anonymous. And I come in, he said, "We've been waiting for you, Bob." And it ended up that Al had him as a sponsor, and this January, Al would have 30 years, and he always gave me his coin because I was a year behind him. I'm coming up on 29, and now he's not going to make it 30 to give me that coin. And I was sharing that with JoJo's wife. She goes, "You know, it's funny, Al died before his 30-year coin because his sponsor JoJo died before he got his 30-year." I said, "What are you telling me? I'm not going to make my 30-year coin." You know what I mean? And she said, "You're not going nowhere because I'm chasing you." And Janet always said she's chasing me because she got a clean date. I think it might even be yesterday or today. And she got 28 years. And she says, "I'm always chasing you because my clean date's January 95. And me, her, and his kid, Mike Anthony, call ourselves the class of the 95, you know, because that's when all 3 of us got clean. And there's not that many people around to come in here with us, you know, and it's unfortunate. But heard somebody sharing earlier about their wife using, and I know it happens, husband and wives, you know, our partners use, and help anybody I could in this program. But my wife ended up using, and she ended up having half her lung taken out from cancer. A year ago, she had a mastectomy. They cut one of her breasts off, and she, you know, unfortunately had to take medication, and she abused it, you know what I mean? And I had a guy that I sponsored with, I think 30, 60, 90 days. He said, "Bob, why are you so rough on your wife, man?" I said, "Because it's fucking killing me watching her take these meds, man. You know what I mean?" He says, "You know, you help a complete stranger, but you won't help your wife. She's struggling. And she's got health issues." And that opened me up to a whole different avenue, man. You know what I mean? And, you know, we were getting high. I was doing 80% of the dope. She's doing 20, you know, the 80-20 split. And now she's doing 200%, and I ain't getting nothing, and I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's about, growing up and being responsible here. Because that's what happens here, man. This program turns boys into men and girls into women around here. Now, lately I've been seeing boys turn into women and girls turn into men, but whatever floats your boat. I'm good. I'm good. You know what I mean? But crazy world we live in today, man, with the fentanyl and everything else going on. It's just a couple months ago, a kid come into the home group. He said, "Man, I can't believe my buddy smoked a joint and he died of fentanyl." They're putting it in fentanyl or in weed, you know. Anything to get a feeling, to get somebody strung out, you know. Putting in anything, the press pills, everything, man. But I'm just so blessed, man, to be on this journey, and I don't want to go anywhere because all I want to do is encourage people that this program works. You know what I mean? And I want to walk out of here with some dignity and self-worth. You know what I mean? Because that's what God intended for me to be. And if you struggle with the God thing, keep coming back, because I sponsored an atheist. And I get where this program is. It's spiritual, you know, and if you're working the spiritual principles, you can have a higher power of anything, and this works. When you're doing the right thing for the right reason, it works, you know, because when I first come in, doing the right thing really felt wrong, and doing the wrong thing felt right. But now it's balancing out. After being here, doing the wrong thing don't feel good no more, you know, and doing the right thing does. But I don't want to take no credit for anything I do, because I think it's my service to my community and to my family and to my friends today, you know, to be the best person I can be. And, you know, this medical field, man, I mean, going here with this kidney doctor, I went to the heart doctor because I'm having issues with my heart again, and it's all because of the diabetes. Don't want to be on no medication. You know, I'm on 10 pills. It's all rubbish, nothing to do me any, you know, get me high or anything. But my heart's starting to act up again. It's not getting enough oxygen in blood. So I go to the cardiologist after the test, and he says, I can't do the dye test because your kidneys might shut down or you might end up on dialysis. I said, whatever you think. He says, I'm emailing and I'm texting your kidney doctor right now. I've been seeing a specialist for years. And he sent him the message on Wednesday. He called me from his car on Friday and said, well, dialysis might work. I says, I don't want dialysis. I still ride Harleys with my daughter. She rides. She's driving tractor trailer. My youngest daughter, and my son, he rides, you know, and I haven't dirt bike ridden, but I'd still like to do it. You know, they got 8 bikes down there. I got 3 of them in the garage that I haven't rode, but I don't want to be tied to a machine, I said, you know. And he said, well, your longevity in life isn't going to be any better if you do the transplant. I said, you know what? He was talking so negative about it. And I'm trying to be upbeat all the time on any single thing, because any negative thought in my mind is disease thinking, and I don't want to run with that. So I just said, you know what? I don't think it's going to be your decision anyway. It's going to be the kidney surgeons talking with my cardiologist. It's going to be their decision. And he like cut it short and got off. So it ends up, took like 2 weeks for him to send the paperwork over, and it would have never got sent over if I didn't keep calling. I'm calling a transplant center, and they're telling me this is about growing up and being responsible, because if you don't, anything can happen, man, you know. And staying in touch with them, I said, could he have sent it to the wrong transplant place? They said, no, definitely come here first. And then they send it to the people that get you in for the intake. So after 2 weeks, they finally got it. So I call, another 2 weeks passes, and I'm calling this week, and they said, oh, you got to speak with all your paperwork. It was approved on my chart. I seen it. Transplant, aftercare, rejection medicine, everything's approved. They sent it to intake. I said, okay. Call Emily at intake. I call her. She goes, you're here for a liver transplant. I said, no, I need a kidney transplant. I'd like to get a pancreas if I can too, you know, because they do that now, because this is the best in the nation down here. But look at the mistakes they made. You know what I mean? Send the paperwork to her. If I wouldn't have checked, where the fuck my paperwork at? You know what I mean? So now they got to resend it, and I'm still waiting to see. I have no idea what's next. You know, what tests I got to do, whoever my donors are, living or dead, you know, there ain't nobody living going to give me a pancreas, but they do that now. And I've been taking insulin for 40 something years. I wouldn't have to take insulin no more, you know, and that's all because of this program, taking care of myself. I tried killing myself for 27 plus years. Now with this program, I'm trying to live today. In 10 days, I'm going to be 67 years old. I'm good. I feel good. Let's do this while I feel good. My cardiologist said, you go south anywhere, man, all kind of complications are going to happen. So I said, let's get this done, you know. So me using right now, I can go blind with this stuff, lose my limbs, you know. I got a little neuropathy, but I'll take it. You know what I mean? I'll take what I got today because I got another day to be with all my friends, all my family, you know, and the things that are going on in my life, man. Like everybody's telling me, retire, retire. I'm like, I don't want to retire. I want to keep moving. It's hard to hit a moving target, man. I want to keep moving, you know. A week ago, my mother turned 88 on Thursday, and she ended up in the emergency room with COVID. And when she was in the hospital, she ended up with COVID pneumonia, and they sent her home with oxygen. And I can't even go up and see her because if I get any type of infection, my kidneys are shut down. And my brother's up there taking care of her, man. And what a godsend he is, man. He's an angel taking care of my mother up there, man. And we were supposed to have an Italian dinner up there for her birthday, and we had to cancel. And I talked to her yesterday morning. I said, Mike, she couldn't even talk on the phone, you know. And I'm like, get off the phone and put the oxygen on it. She never needed oxygen before. But this COVID's vicious, man. You know, I lost a couple friends in the program from that COVID. Bobby Jenkins and Chucky Fassetti. A lot of other people that died that were up at barbershop too. And I was up there and I got it. I was deathly afraid, man, that I wasn't going to make it through that. But and then with my wife with the lung cancer, she ended up getting it. And I just laying in bed sick thinking, if she dies from this, man, how am I going to live this time? You know what I mean? Same thing with people wanting to donate. You know, I always say I use used parts on my Harley. I'll use some used parts on me to keep me going. But if something would happen to the people that donate something to me, I don't know how I could live with that, really, man, because I don't know. Just out of that self-centeredness today from this program, in working this program the best of my ability, in praying for God's will and the power to carry it out, you know, I learned a couple of things around here that I do on my own, you know, like the Serenity Prayer. I just took that a little step further, and there's a long version. I'll say it for you real quick. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time. Accepting hardships is a pathway to peace. Taking as he did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, and trusting that all will be well if I surrender to his will, and that I can be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever in the next. Now, believe me, I'm no Bible thumper, but we say that Serenity Prayer, and they say, chase the recovery like you chase the drug. I took that upon myself to learn that, you know, and I tell like my sponsees that think about what you're asking for when you're praying, even the third step prayer. Take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, and show me how to live. You know, guide me show me how to live without the use of drugs, a day at a time, you know. And Sammy Risty gave me something, I think it was Dot Talley, he got that off of, it was a 7-step prayer, and it said, my Creator, have all of me, good and bad. And I pray that you remove from me every single defective character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. And grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. And that's the stuff I learned here that, man, is like dear to my heart today, you know, because I'm trying to be a better man today and serve, you know what I mean? So just carry the message the best I can, as long as I can, and enjoy life the best I can. Because see, this being a spiritual program, spirituality is living life at its fullest for me. You know, I'm not ready to lay it down. I don't want to lay it down. I see guys in their 40s and 50s, they want to get that SSI check, and then they end up crippled, like they can't move. I mean, and believe me, I got some aches and pains too, wrecking cars, rolling them over, motorcycle accidents. I've been in a lot of bad accidents, you know. A chainsaw blew up in my face, knocked all my teeth out, almost killed me. A partner quickly saw the clutch come out. And, but I just want to live today, you know what I mean? And when I quit going to meetings, that Sammy told me, I said, man, it was early on. I said, you know what? These meetings ain't paying my bills. He says, oh, like you were paying them before. Keep going to meetings. You know what I mean? But that's another important part about having a sponsor, man, that can guide you and direct you. And share his experience, strength, and hope. And that's what happens in meetings too. People sharing their experience, strength, and hope. You never know what somebody's going through when they walk in. You go up and hug them. My old home group, Emotional Rescue, up in Dormont. I seen a guy come. Everybody always was outside, cutting up cars, motorcycles, whatever. And this kid came down the street, and I forget his name, but I went up. I said, "What's up?" And I went up, smiled, give him a hug, because that's what Sammy taught me. I was always smiling, you know what I mean? And I still today do that. Hey, how you doing? And it's not fake either. It's for real. And the kid after the meeting come up to me. He says, I seen everybody standing out here. I was walking down Potomac, and I was thinking, look at all them. I ought to just go commit suicide. He said, you come up and hug me, man. I stayed for the whole meeting. He said, I don't feel that way no more. So you never know when you're going to touch somebody around here. I mean, I'm not that powerful to get anybody clean, but just that change in that thought, you know what I mean? What he was thinking when he seen everybody smiling and living it up down there, in the pain he must have been in, and I just got a phone call yesterday about a kid that was here at like 4 years clean. He's down on 51 with a sign, you know what I mean? And it's just sad today, you know what I mean? That some people just might never get this, man. So if you're here today, man, I'm rooting for everybody. Treasure this, man. Believe me when I tell you. If you're struggling, keep coming back. If you're not struggling, keep coming back. Because we need each and every one of us to help each other. You never know when you're going to help somebody, man, But I know I got a long ride home, and I'm going to cut it short here. This morning I got up, I went down to a men's breakfast over at my buddy's church, and they were praying over me because of my health and everything that's going on with my wife. They keep me and her in the prayer list, and believe me, I'm no Bible thumper by no means. I'm a dope fiend trying to get another day clean, trying to, be for real in Narcotics Anonymous, because I could never pay back what this program given me. And after that, I went to my buddy's son's birthday party, ate there, and, do what we do there and sing happy birthday, and a little piece of cake for the diabetic. Thank you. And, then went home and ended up going up, filling up, and coming out here, you know what I mean? So it's been a busy day for my tired ass, but I appreciate everybody, man. And like I said, if you're struggling, keep coming, man. God bless you. I love you all. Thanks.